Hey everybody, welcome to a rousing, I mean, I yeah, it has to be said to be rousing post-game reaction to one of the best NBA Finals game ones in history. I mean, if you had told me that this NBA Finals game one 2018 was going to end with LeBron James scoring 51 and the Warriors winning, I would have said, nah, the Warriors are going to blow them out, because I thought, as many did, including many of you, that the Warriors were going to blow them out. And that the Warriors, some predicted a Warriors sweep, which still could happen, okay? Because when all is said and done, the Warriors won, all right? When all is said and done, the Golden State Warriors won. Hey, John Marks. Hey, Barry Lee. How you guys doing? What did you all think? I'm priming the pump for the live stream here. There's a lot to talk about in a confined space, because I'm going to close this out at about 2 Eastern. But wow, what? You said it, Joseph Bensman. I mean, you said it very well. What a crazy game. Crazy game. A shame LeBron's great effort was all for naught. Well, if you're a Warriors fan, your reaction is this. Whew. Thank God he's got no other great players around him. As my mom pointed out, LeBron's got no one else. It's him. And he has to do it all. And it's frustrating. It's got to be frustrating for him. And Beta Treo, how are you saying? How are you doing? And uh, I'll get to that question in a moment, or I'm going to read backward. Beta Trio says, Drew Perkins, Albert, how you doing, Albert? Wait a minute, Albert was at the game. Timeout. Albert gets first priority because Albert was at the game. Albert, what was it like? Did you see John Hamm? Just give. I'm gonna take your comment out of order and read it first. So he just arrived, and then Drake Pakins has how you doing? Barry Lee says a win's a win. John Mark says Oakland Bars $105 million for what? Yeah, they said it's for CalPERS, the California Public Employees Retirement System, but that's what the person said at the dais. It doesn't say that anywhere in writing. Keep that in mind, okay? It says in writing that they can basically use the money for whatever intent comes up with respect to the general fund and obligations. In other words, payments. That could be used for overtime for the police, or purchasing a part of the Coliseum debt that can be associated with Alameda County. You get the idea, but I digress, all right? Albert says, the game was amazing. Where did you sit? What was it like? And I got to ask you this question. How loud was Oracle tonight? I just want to know. Joseph, have you seen a game like this before? John Marks, what do you think? Barry Lee, what do you think? Other than a win is a win, which is true. A win is an incredible win. Oh, by the way, Barry Lee, if you tweet this out, please tweet it under hashtag NBA Finals, okay? And then hashtag, yeah, NBA, and then hashtag Dub Nation, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. Let me see here. I've got to make sure that this is completely and correctly calibrated. Joseph Benjamin says, Game 1 is always the game that a road team can steal. Warriors survived, barely. J.R. Smith, wow. Yeah, and how about J.R. Smith dribbling the basketball rather than doing a catch and shoot, right? A turn and shoot. Albert 106 got you. And John Mark says, Oracle is loud. Yeah, I'm surprised. Hey, Albert, 106, do you still have your ears? I'm just curious. Are your ears still, operating? Just wondering there. Are they ringing? That ringing in your ear. I meant to add the word live. Oops, excuse me, not Vivica. NBA Fives live stream, and okay, and Sorry for the late start, but I was cleaning the kitchen, folks. You know, I was cleaning the kitchen and you know, just trying to make sure my mom is okay, and you know, still she's not out of the woods yet, folks. So I'm just trying to hold the fort here and make sure that she's happy, and that is my obligation. That is my what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? However I do it. Need to make more money. Just being candid about that. Need to make some more money, and I'll get to that a little bit later because that leads into some other announcements. Oh, by the way, Barry Lee, speaking of which, I owe you for your investments. So I'll get that done, I promise, within the next day or so. Thank you for sending the tweet, Barry Lee. Albert106 says he was in section 205, row 1. The arena was crazy loud. My son, you took your son for his first game? Whoa! You know what? If your son gets mad at you at any time in the future, and he will, just remind him that you took him for his first basketball game to NBA Finals Game 1, one of the classic games in NBA history. Just casually throw that out there as a reminder. Okay? Just casually throw that out there as a reminder. John Mark says, wonder what Chase Arena is going to be. I do too. And Joseph Business says, Junior has a knack for the mind fart. Ha, pretty much his worst ever tonight. It was, because they got the ball. The game was tied. They got the rebound. They had, what, 4.7 seconds left after the rebound? And then, inexplicably, J.R. Smith dribbles the ball away from the basket. Away from the basket. I would show it if I had copyright to do so. I don't. And he showed it. He drove away from the basket and then turned around at the last minute, tried to shoot, then passed it off. That didn't work. And then it was blocked. And by the time that sequence I just described completed, the clock had struck 0-0. And during that sequence, Tristan Thompson had fouled Steph Curry. Klay Thompson, Tristan Thompson had fouled Steph Curry, but hit him. It was a graze. It wasn't flagrant. But what was flagrant was when Draymond Green said something to Tristan, and whatever he said, Tristan took the basketball and stuffed it in his face. I mean, man, oh man, oh man. Hey, Steve Macy, how you doing? Nice to have you back. Nice to have you back. And so, Joseph Ben says, don't we all, if my mom or I hit the Powerball one day, we're set. One time I won a big giveaway in AC, Atlanta City. Hey, you know, someone won $1.3 million jackpot at the Cosmopolitan. That's the second time that has happened in, about 8 months. Yeah. So hey, the Cosmopolitan slots are paying off, just it looks like. But anyway, I digress again. CJW, yo, how you doing? Ms. Zeitgeist, how are you? Ms. Zeitgeist says, I would not want to be in JR's shoes right now. No. And Beto Trejo says, J.R. Smith took a 8th blank tonight. Laugh out loud. Steve Macy says, my question is, why didn't the refs give a timeout to the Cavs? LeBron was calling for it right in front of the ref. It may have been, hey, Eric Young, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in earlier today. Predator Kingdom says, who spiked JR? That sounds like an unusual play, although I don't think you intended this, on the famous episode from Dallas, Who Shot JR, right? Who spiked him? You're saying, what? Dallas? Who? It might be a little bit beyond your time. Dallas was a very popular show in the late 70s and the early 80s, okay? I swore by it, and everyone tuned in because they love to hate J.R. Ewing, played by the late fantastic actor Larry Hagman, who also played a great role in Primary Colors. I think he was nominated for an Oscar for that. The movie starring John Travolta as Bill Clinton, even though that wasn't his name. But again, I digress. We got Joseph Benson says, definitely thought it was a charge on Durant. Oh, it wasn't. Wait. You thought it was a charge? No, it was a block. Okay, it was a block. All right. Joseph Benson says, definitely thought it was a charge on Durant, but what can you do? And definitely thought the refs overreacted in throwing out Thompson. That was not a flagrant foul, but let alone a flagrant two. I agree with that part, but look, that was a blocking foul. The rule in basketball is you don't come up and position yourself and stand there. You're supposed to give ground. The only way, if you gave ground, if LeBron had given ground, in other words, moved back with Durant, and then Durant knocked him over, then it's a charge. But that didn't happen. Look at it. LeBron moved in front of him and planted himself. He planted himself in a move that looked akin to a running back blocking a linebacker on a blitz. Okay? That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. It was not a movement that will even beg for a charge. It just wasn't there. So they were right to reverse the call. And so you got John Mark says, yes, it was Sue Ellen's daughter. Yeah, I remember what happened to her. Predator King says, Sue Ellen's daughter hanging in East Oakland these days. I don't know what that means, but hey. CJW says, Junior, or J.R. Ewing thought, J.R. Ewing, excuse me, J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith thought that they were up by 1, and thought he was going to get fouled out, and that was the reason. Well, but that doesn't make it any better. I mean, it means that his head wasn't in, that doesn't make it any better. You have to have an awareness for what the score is, and therefore what to do, right? Because if you're a player and you don't know what the score is, and you're in the middle of, as Mark Jackson would put it, a game where the brightest lights are shining on you, then you're costing your team. And that's exactly what happened. J.R. Ewing cost his team a victory. I mean, I was just saying to my mom, I said, he actually dribbled away from the basket, not turned around and shot. Okay? That's what he did. He turned away from it, okay? And Steve Macy says, you need to have court awareness, especially in crunch time. Court awareness, scoreboard awareness, anyone, right? CJW says, if George Hill would have made the free throw, he wouldn't be in the situation. That's true. Predator says, very true, CJW, as do I. Completely 1,000,000% agree. I cannot agree more, and I cannot disagree at all. But still, all right, picking the matter of who you may have wanted to win aside, boy, what a great game. I mean, it really was a great game. Now, would I have said it was a great game if the Warriors lost? Yeah, I was actually prepared to say that, because for me, even though at the end my prediction came close, I thought the Warriors were going to blow them out. I thought it was going to be a ho-hum affair with, the Warriors just stoking up threes and you know what I mean? Just like, oh yeah, they've got this and no problem, and this is going to be, outstanding for them and everything else. That's what I thought. I thought it was going to be that kind of a contest. But hey, look, it wasn't that kind of contest at all. It was a contest that really saw, and there's no other way to put it, it really saw the it saw a better Cavs team than I thought was going to emerge. They had a better game plan. They had their spacing down. The shooters were accurate, and they were competitive. And that's all you can ask. They were competitive. But at the end of the day, in overtime, the Cavs' weakness that it was just a bunch of guys and LeBron were exposed. The difference, however, is that unlike LeBron going off and scoring 51 against, say, the Celtics, he faced a truly better team in the Warriors. They have their own sharpshooters, but it's sharpshooters plural, not sharpshooters one with the occasional contribution from somebody. All right. Eric Madison, how you doing? Steve Mays, any stadium news today? Yeah, I'll get to that in a bit. I wanna milk this conversation. Actually, there are. Excuse me. Let me get one biggest part of stadium news out of the way right now. Hey, folks, we got a tariff situation, and it's official. Okay, it's official. All right. It is official. Eric Madison says Kevin Love might be suspended according to Bleacher Report when he left the bench during the Tristan Thompson, Draymond Green incident. Ooh. Thanks for pointing that out. The Cavs just came apart. I mean, they were so convinced they had this in the bag, and I think they were so tired of hearing the press about how bad they were and how they were just going to lay down for the Warriors. And they're probably just tired of facing the Warriors, and they thought they were going to get the Rockets. You know, I believe they honestly thought they were going to get the Rockets. And they didn't get the Rockets. They got the Warriors again. Okay? So all that's going through their head, plus the crowd, and whatever the crowd's saying to them, and wherever, plus, you know, whatever they consumed that day, and then boom. They just went. That team, almost to a person, came unglued in some kind of way. It just did, okay? And so, don't want to miss your comments here. And Barry Lee says, LeBron, to me, win or lose the finals, he's gone from Cleveland because I think he's tired of not getting help. Yeah, and not getting help and getting this far. Steve Macy says he'll go to the Lakers. Barry Lee says, where do you think he'll go? I think the Warriors. I think LeBron James going to the Lakers will be a lose-lose proposition. He won't win there, and they won't win with him there. Okay? They may win a few more games, but LeBron is not going to automatically buy them, in that case, a championship. The Warriors will. The Warriors will. And there's every reason to believe that the Warriors could try for him. It's the last season in Oakland. They want to go out with a splash. Why not one more championship before they move across the bay? What better player to help them go out with a bang than LeBron James? It just makes a lot of sense to me. It really does. Cowboy Retro thinks LeBron will go to the Mavericks. I think he's stupid to do that. I really do. Barry Lee agrees with me that LeBron's going to the Warriors. Trio says he's going to Philly. Now, if he goes to Philly, that's something to talk about. CJW says, I think LeBron will leave Trae Young, will become Kyrie Irving, and then LeBron comes back for 1 year, he retires, and Trae Young retires, repeat. Got it. Malcontent, how you doing? Malcontent says 25% steel tariff, 10% on aluminum. Look out. Exactly. C. Macy says, we'd love him in Sacramento. Yeah, now that would be an interesting story. That would be quite an interesting story. But what about him with the Rockets? Because I understand Chris Paul is lobbying him to go to the Rockets. If he goes to the Rockets against the Warriors, woo, they'll make the Rockets really dangerous. You'd have to say, all right, start thinking about penciling him in. Start thinking about it. But LeBron James to the Warriors, you think? So, I think so. And so, Black Lion Supreme says, we're out Kyrie as long as... hey, Ma, what do you think about LeBron James to the Warriors? They're asking. You don't think? Okay. Okay. Hey, folks, I'll be right back, okay? Hold on a second. I'll be right back. One second. Okay, I'm back. So, let's see here. Hello? I am back. Okay, I'm going to tweet this out again. So, let's see here. Where were we? I'll tweet this out to say I'm back. BAC back. Back. Okay. All right. Yes, I am back. I left everybody. Yeah. Let me tweet that out to say that I've returned. It's too bad that I can't send a message out. Or can I? Okay. And wait a minute. NBA Finals. And then Warriors. Then live stream. Got it. Okay, got it. All right. Now, where were we? Okay, back. I am back. All right. So, Ms. Zeitgeist says he puts up 51 points on the best team in the league. His teammates pay him back by missing a free throw, blowing a 4-second possession, and not keeping track of the score. Predator Kingdom says Kelly Clarkson still ain't got over Kendall Jenner. Black Lion Supreme says any place but Golden State is good. And yes, Steve, you just saw my mom. So she was up here for a second. And need to check with me about something. So, you know, I guess I couldn't wait. So, cool. And Joseph Benson says, I know a lot of people who would hate LeBron going to Golden State would make the NBA unwatchable for them. Well, Joseph, think about it, though. Some of the same people felt that way with respect to the deal that sent Kevin Durant from OKC to the Warriors. You know, the talk, it was, hey, that's the team that punked you, and now you're going to play them. Well, okay. But it was a little bit more to that, like $300 million, something like that, in terms of potential revenue for him, sponsorship revenue, and then I think he got 54 million up front from them, and he used that to buy a house in the Hamptons or something. So anyway, Ms. Zeitgeist says Marc Gasol to the Warriors would beat LeBron to the Rockets. Marc Gasol to the Warriors. Gasol with the Warriors. And LeBron to the Rockets. That would be an interesting matchup. That would be quite the interesting matchup. I'm wondering if Andre Iguodala is coming back, or what the status on Iguodala is going to be. Let's see here. So, speaking of statuses, let me see. Andre and Cowboy Wrestler says LeBron to the Spurs. I know him and Pop have a close relationship. Yep. So, okay. Now we've got, let's see, Andre Iguodala. All right. Let's see if he's Andre Iguodala to miss game 1 with a leg contusion. We know that. There doesn't seem to be any update with respect to him. Okay. What else? Up in the in case you missed it section. Here and here. Okay. Yeah. And Andre Iguodala. Let's see here. Welcome to Zenny62, by the way. Andre Iguodala says, Andre Iguodala had, of all the tweets, Skip Bayless says Cleveland Cavaliers will steal Game 1 tonight because one team doesn't have Andre Iguodala and the other team does have LeBron James. More undisputed on FS1. Well, guess what? He was wrong. He was wrong. He was just plain wrong. Okay. No other way to call it but then to say that he was wrong. Now, as far as Andre Iguodala and the latest information, welcome to Zenny62. Let's see here. Steve Kerr says Looney is not a starter. He's taken Andre Iguodala's place. That was 15 minutes ago. Thing is, I don't know if he's out for Game 2. So Andre Iguodala, everyone's Googling Game 2, right? Not Googling. Searching on Twitter. Let's see here. 2 years ago, it was Draymond missing Game 5, even though he played in Games 6 and 7. Now it's 34-year-old Andre Iguodala and his 6 points a game. That's the issue. But it's his defense. It's his defense. And so, the other thing about this result, talking about the win, is it means the Warriors can hold Andre Iguodala out another game. They might have had to force him back in for Game 2, considering the way LeBron carved up everyone else, but Curry, oddly. Okay? So, there's that is. Now back to your comments. Hey, everybody's back now. Okay. Black Line Supreme says, let me go back and see what I missed. Apparently says, if LeBron moves to Texas, it's going to be San Antonio because he respects and admires Coach Pop. Joseph Benjamin says, it's different from that, though. LeBron joining the Warriors would just make it overkill to a lot of people. Durant took the easy way out, the easy route to a title. Black Lion Supreme says, exactly, so just think what they will say if James comes to Oakland. No thanks, laugh out loud. Steve Macy says, for the Warriors to get LeBron, they would have to do one. He'll sign, he'll do a sign and trade, have to trade some major players. Black Lion Supreme says, he's always wrong. And CJW says, I feel like Thompson this year will get Finals MVP. After that? Where's that coming from? Joseph Benson says, Skip was almost right, laugh out loud. And since Black Lion Supreme was saying that he was always wrong talking about Skip Bayless. Skip gets paid just to have a statement. It's not, and this is what people don't understand about media today. The real name of the game is news commentary. You don't have to be right or wrong. You just have to have an opinion and be able to state it on cue. That's what the game is about. That's true for radio, even though radio is dying as we know it. That's true here. That's true everywhere. It's true television. You just have to have an opinion. But again, you don't, and you have to be provocative. You don't have to be right. So Skip can be, as you point out, always wrong, but he still makes the big bucks, right? So Black Lion says that Iguodala's status is unknown for Game 2. Sean, how you doing? Welcome. Kevin KD says the Cavs bench played well tonight. Good contributions from all members. Ms. Like I said, Iguodala slows down LeBron. I don't know why they had Curry guard LeBron tonight. Yeah, that was funny. That just sort of happened, you know. I mean, it's kind of funny how Curry just sort of stepped out like, yeah, I got you. Vito says, so why no love from the Oakland Raiders? You mean for the Warriors? Ask the Raiders. I think, I can't say there's no love because I've seen Mark Davis and John Gruden at Warrior games. All right. Now as to social media, good question. Hey, get on Twitter and ask them. Right. There's no Las Vegas basketball team to root for. Just saying, all right? Joseph Business says, when the charge call was reversed, I wondered if MJ would get that call. And Michael Jordan? If the charge call was reversed. I wondered if I get it. I think I think in the case of Michael Jordan, it would have been different because he would have been leaping to slam dunk, because there was that alley. And so for LeBron to get in the way at that point, LeBron would have gotten in the way and probably it would have been a, well, let me put it this way: Mike would have been in the air and already, and he would have been doing this, and LeBron would have gotten away, and would have looked kind of like, whatever. Okay, not a visual I want to see. All right, just put it that way. It would have been. That would have been. Wow, that would have been a complete blocking foul. That would have been a blocking foul. LeBron would have been hurt from twice in 2 ways. Use your imagination. I'm not going to go any more about that one. Anyway, okay. Now, Mark Davis, Kevin KD says Mark Davis is basically Sheldon Adelson's puppet at this point. Vegas Golden Knights, Malcontent says one problem, folks, have with LeBron to Golden State Warriors is Durant to Golden State Warriors comes down to how the people view personality and professional culture. It may not be about winning, but rather LeBron's personal legacy. Yeah, it would be about LeBron's personal legacy, but look, hasn't it always been? I thought so. From the time that LeBron went to Miami and the Cleveland fans burned his jersey, remember that? Then he spurned Miami after a few years, right? And then went from Miami back to Cleveland. Okay? So, it's always been about LeBron's personal legacy. And you know what? It's a stellar personal legacy. It would be one thing if he jumped around all this time and had nothing to show for it. But he's jumped around all this time, and LeBron James has a lot to show for it. That's it. So, Black Lion says James was moving and not set automatic block call. Actually, he wasn't moving. The move he did was he came to impede the path of Kevin Durant. Okay. Kevin KD says to Predator Kingdom, Kobe is better shooter than who? In LeBron? Kevin KD says earlier that LeBron's personal legacy is already sealed, all but sealed. He is second to Michael Jordan, and that ain't ever going to change. I think you're right. That's not going to change. Michael's place in history is established. He owns a basketball team. No. Kevin KD says Kobe did go to 2 finals with a similar team LeBron took to the finals this year. Yes, similar, except that LeBron just, moved around. So, he's still moving. Joseph Benson says, definitely has always been about LeBron's legacy. Did LeBron deny the Michael Jordan comparisons when he was 18? No. He has embraced everything the NBA and fandom has ever given him. Yeah, he has. He really has. He's a guy who, he came out as the chosen one. Remember the golden child? And then I think he had an agent, allegedly, who had an affair with his mom and all this other stuff. Okay. And so Jim says, Zenny, you're only answering questions from your moderators and a couple of subscribers because everybody else has been banned. Yay! That's good. Awesome. I'm glad they've been banned. So that means that's great. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Why? Do you want to get banned? If you want to get banned, fine. That's great. There's a certain level of discourse that I want to have here. Respect. All right. And not trolling. Okay. And that's it. So, and that's it. So at any rate, today. Okay. All right. So anyway, we've got, moving along. Now, next, Kevin KD says, barely says, ha ha ha. Kevin KD says LeBron would be crazy to leave the Eastern Conference. The West won't let him move, though even the way the Raps and the Wizards, I didn't quite understand that one. Ms. Zeitgeist says if Gasol went to the Warriors and they still had a good bench, they would have no weakness. Their one weakness is they don't have a center that dominates in the paint in both ends, which Gasol does. Yeah, that's a great analysis, and I'll have to take a look at some Paul Gasol, tapes, okay? A video. CJW says, I can see Leonard to the Wizards. Who do you think? Do you actually think, here's my question, do you think that the Rockets would be a better team with LeBron as opposed to the Warriors? All right? And Ms. Zeitgeist says, Mark Gasol, not Paul Gasol, right. Got it. I misspoke, sorry. Kevin KD says the Raptors and Wizards are way easier competition in playoffs than the other Western Conference teams. That's true. That is true. The East, I mean, that is the problem. The fact that the Cavaliers cannot do well, and yet go through the playoffs and carve up the East, or at least be competitive and win, as they did this year, doesn't say much for the East at all. It doesn't. Predator Kingdom says that the Raps get Becky Hammon to coach. She can bring Kawhi Leonard with him. That would be exciting. I meant to check on where that is. That would be quite exciting. Malcontent says exactly. I agree with you both. My point was LeBron wants to be somewhere where he's seen as the man with Curry and Durant. That's probably not Golden State. I think LeBron would want to be at Golden State because he already knows he's the man, and he would relish the money and prestige that would come with playing for Golden State in the Bay Area, getting to know a lot of people involved in the tech community. He's already had Beats by Dre, right? So for him, it would be a legacy / business decision, all right? It really would. So, Raider Gans, how you doing? Raider Gans says, I feel bad for JR because once again, Braun deferred to Hill when he had a mismatch on Curry for the final shot. Played the perfect game until it mattered the most. In overtime, I might add. Kevin KD says, Joseph Binsman, trust me, it won't make a difference. Toronto does not win in the crunch. Hey, did they get a coach? I gotta check on that. CJW says, wouldn't all teams be over the cap if they got LeBron? If LeBron went to the Rockets, they would have to give up key players, Anderson, Tucker, and Ariza. Yeah, but would the Warriors have to give up their Hampton 5 if they brought in LeBron? Cowboy Wrestler says, there's this guy on CBS Sports Radio right now saying that the refs handed the Warriors the win tonight. I swear the hate for the Warriors is unreal. Really? I gotta check that out. Black Lion Supreme says, I don't believe the NBA would allow James to come to the Warriors. You may have a point there. But that's worth fishing around to talk about. Kevin KD says, I think that LeBron would be better in Houston. Don't want him in Oakland. Joseph Business says, I'm not worried about Toronto, Kevin KD. Raptors still interviewing coaches. Got it, okay. Kevin KD says the Raptors should move to Vegas. That would be interesting. That would be a great move for the Raptors. I think any NBA basketball team would do very well in Las Vegas. I really do. I really do. And Malcolmton says, what did you guys think about the JR slip Clay injury? Well, my mom thought it was deliberate. I thought it was a complete accident. But the way he slipped, it was kind of like, and that's what I thought. Kevin KD says, Joseph Binsman says, I got it. And Joseph Binsman says, LeBron's easiest path to the finals is staying in the East. If trying to catch Michael Jordan is goal for him, I don't see why he would head west. That's an interesting take. Joseph Bisman says, well, they need to do something, Toronto, not good enough. Ms. Zeitgeist says, no, Toronto is a better sports town than Vegas will ever be. Predator Kingdom says, Raptors already too successful in Toronto. Ms. Zeitgeist may have a point considering the transients. It's going to take time for that population to change. And it's going to go through some change pains. Not growing, but changing. Black Lion Supreme says, I would love to see the NBA in Vegas, not the NFL. And that's the thing, I think the NBA is tailor-made for Las Vegas. I really do. Now, that's separate from Las Vegas being like the best sports town ever. I think in order to be that, you've got to have three or four teams in, 3 or 4 leagues, right? And you have to have a slightly larger population. But Las Vegas is so unique in its design, it may be able to buck that. Just saying, okay? And CJW says, do you think there'll be any expansion teams in the NBA? I think there's room for that, yeah. Kevin KD says, speaking of which, many people in the NHL community that have been close to the Golden Knights keep taking jabs at the Raiders and feel like they will fail in Las Vegas. They're not the only ones. Ms. Zeitgeist says, remember, we've got a tariff issue now. Did they ever resolve the strike issue? It is after midnight in Las Vegas, so let's see something here. It's after midnight in Las Vegas. So let's go see here. Just type Las Vegas. And Las Vegas strike is, let's see if it's been settled. Let's see if they came to an agreement. Possible Las Vegas casino workers strike looms as contract set to expire. And it's 1:31 now here, which means it's 10:31 in Las Vegas. The Culinary Union 3 minutes ago put out this is by the Culinary Union itself. This is 3 minutes ago, folks. The strong economic indicators in Las Vegas and Nevada couldn't come to a screeching halt should a union strike occur. The union says a strike would cost MGM and Caesars roughly $10 million in lost revenue a day. They just put that out 3 minutes ago. And it's 10:31, which means, looks like, hey, and so it says 50,000 Las Vegas workers are ready to go on strike over fear of robots taking their jobs. That was 7 minutes ago. And the Culinary Union puts this out. This was 8 minutes ago. Strike could come as fans head to Las Vegas for the Stanley Cup Final. The Union for Professional Hockey Players at the National Hockey League expressed support for casino workers' attempts to reach a fair and equitable agreement. That's by Associated Press. Okay. Possible Las Vegas casino workers strike looms. So there's nothing here to indicate that they've reached an agreement, and this is headed toward. This is headed toward 132 here, which is Culinary. Once 132 here, and which it means it's 10:32 in Las Vegas. Okay, and Las Vegas report: possible Las Vegas casino worker strike looms as contracts set to expire. So you know what? Nothing's been done yet, and I don't see that anything's getting done there. Let me check. There's a guy, John Walston, who follows politics there, and very well in Las Vegas. Let's check John Walston and see what he's reporting. Walston. He's usually on top of these things, and that's his focus is a little different. I don't see. John Walston says Cavs would have won by now if LeBron hadn't had that dumb blocking foul. It's true. Okay, so I don't see anything about that. I don't see any, and I'm looking hard, folks. I'm trying to find some information that'll get back to the conversation. It's 1:33. I'm going to stop at about 10 to 2, by the way. Let's see here. I don't see anything. Why do they have an article about renewable energy plans rather than the culinary workers strike? Sisolak Wolfson Culinary Link PAC launches ad campaign targeting Democratic primaries in Clark County Commission District Attorney races. Okay. Big Pharma Culinary Health Fund, but nothing about the culinary workers. Let's check the Review Journal. Review Journal has a big Las Vegas Strip photograph, and it says unions, casinos continue negotiations. Hours before deadline, updated 9 minutes ago. And so let's see what that is. All right, so let's click on that. So it was, let's see here. We've got, allows me to scroll down. They're continuing their negotiations. It says negotiations between Las Vegas hospitality unions and casino operators continued into the night Thursday with little expectation that a deal will be reached by a midnight deadline, but also little chance of an imminent strike. Okay, so this is good. This is good news. It says the unions plan to open a strike headquarters Friday after contracts for 50,000 employees expire at midnight Thursday. It will be the latest move by labor groups to ratchet up pressure on Strip and downtown casino operators amid months-long talks over a new 5-year contract. Unions earlier this month called the first citywide strike vote in 16 years. The headquarters does not imply the unions plan a strike. Now keep in mind what I'm reading to you here is from an organization, news organization that's owned by a casino owner, Cheryl Nadelson, all right, who would love for a strike not to happen. So we are focused on negotiations, said union spokeswoman Bethany Kahn. We have not set a strike date yet. Okay. Union leaders continue their talks with Thursday with Caesars Entertainment. Caesars continues to meet with the culinary union to finalize a new 5-year contract, but they're not the only one. Caesars MGM Resorts operate 18 to 34 resorts. Okay, so they're going on to explain the details here. All right, so let's see what the Las Vegas Sun reports, which isn't Shell Nadelson owned, right? So we go over here, and we've got nothing that has anything to do with the strike. UNLV and something about a corner ID and NV Energy. And then Trump's pardons. And that's it. Las Vegas News concert venue will stand apart. So basically, both organizations, the Las Vegas Sun, actually 3 of them. This is how media works. Whenever there's bad news, they try to avoid it. So the Review Journal basically takes its time to tell you, oh, hey, they're not really going to strike. The Las Vegas Sun avoids it entirely. There's nothing here about it, okay? John Ralston's blog doesn't mention it at all. He gets donations from a number of elected officials in Las Vegas, very prominent ones. He knows where his bread is buttered. So basically what this amounts to is the only reliable source you're going to get is the mix of different news on Twitter. Okay? Or anything I might choose to write that's related to it. Just saying. So, okay, now we got your comments about this. It says, I bet that when I get back to LA, this is Kevin KD, I will see adverts for the Las Vegas Raiders in town and around the country. Predator Kingdom says, agreed 100% that the problem with the Raiders in the Vegas situation is the Vegas fans know the team is not their own. They embrace the Knights because that's their own team. Yeah, it's Vegas born. That's something. And they started off out of the womb winning, right? Predator Kingdom says Raiders culture in Oakland just fits. They embrace the atmosphere, and the Chargers are missing San Diego a lot. Black Lion says, John Marks says Oakland Raiders forever. Black Lion says facts, to which I agree. Kevin KD says, I can barely stand LA, even though I love Cali, and I hate the Chargers respectfully. But I don't want them in my current town. Fascinating. Fascinating. See what I missed here. And Kevin KD speaks the truth. He says, Predator Kingdom, they should have just, talking about the NFL, given Vegas an expansion team that they can call their own and build the brand from scratch Vegas style. I completely agree. Predator King says, moving the Raiders to Los Angeles would have made more sense, and the Chargers to Vegas, but I think LA Chargers is already a huge mess. Yeah, the Raiders would have done well, I think quite well in LA. It would have been coming back to their second home. It would have been, you know. The Raiders seem to think that they can siphon off their fans from LA to Vegas. That's how they're being. Oh, good night, Barry Lee. Good night. I'm not too far behind. You got 10 minutes more before I sign off for the night. And so anyway, let's see here. Kevin KD says, I can barely stand LA, though I love Cal. I got that part. And I got that one from Black Lion. And Kevin KD says, yeah, man, San Diego's pretty chilled. Hey, Black Lion's Priest says, they have SeaWorld. Steve Macy says, I still wish I knew why the National Football League didn't offer Vegas an expansion team and keep our Raiders where they belong. That's because Mark Davis initiated the whole Vegas operation himself. He didn't check with the league. It was very much a rogue effort on his part. Remember, the league said, hey, you can't do this. Their owners who were completely against it, but then Mark turned around and he got his $750 million, and everyone turned around and went, whoa. And that's what changed everything. Okay. Predator Kingdom, Malcontent says to Predator Kingdom, what evidence do we have that Las Vegas has any Raider fans? I think they will struggle unless they can convince people to travel there for every game. I think that there'll be a novelty effect for the first, 5 games, and even then, there won't be complete sellout. The problem in Vegas is we've never had an example where they've sold out 65,000 available seats for anything. Okay? That's the big issue. Now, someone would say, no, you're wrong, they have the Motor Speedway there. Okay. In fact, you know what, that begs the question. Because I'm assuming I don't know the capacity of Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, all right? Capacity. All right, I'm going to say capacity, all right? Las Vegas Motor Speedway, capacity, right there. It's 80,000, all right? So I'm wrong. Such was the case, yeah. But see, at one time, it had a seating capacity of 140,000. And they trimmed it to 80,000, but so I'm wrong there, okay? I'm wrong. They eliminated seats, though. And now you might say, well, that's for racing, but my point is, there's an example of Las Vegas doing that. But here's the other question, okay? Las Vegas Motor Speedway tickets, all right? So what's the ticket price, okay? So they reduced that. They consider eliminating seats. Pennzoil 400 weekend. The seat pricing is $149. All right, that's special ticket pricing. And then you've got, let's see here, you purchase online, and that's tickets to both March and September 2X Cup, 2X Infinity, right? So basically, it's $149 if I purchase it online at Ticketmaster. Then what do I have to pay? So it says enable, whatever. Okay. Allow. Okay, so I'm trying to see here what the prices are. And they've got 149 to 299. So these are, you know, they're competitive with single ticket football, single ticket seats for football. But note, you don't have to buy a personal seat license, okay? So that's the kicker. So I come back to my original point. This is untested, and it's 65,000. It's untested, but it could happen. Maybe. I would be convinced that if the stadium capacity were 45,000, it would have a shot. But at 65,000, that, and with the price points they're pitching and the personal seat license, I start thinking, oh man, I can't see that working as well as the Raiders think it will work. Again, then they will rush to have it filled because, look, they don't want to have this embarrassing scene of empty seats at the top or any place in the stadium, right? It's chunks. They want it to be filled, I would think. But time will tell, because here's the problem. You've got two issues. You have a looming strike, which will certainly impact hotel visits, which will certainly impact the stadium tax issue. You've got the steel tariff issue, which is going to add to the cost of it because they're still bringing in material. All right? So this thing is far from out of the woods. What will happen after it's complete, whenever that is, aside. It's far from out of the woods, okay? And so, comments are going fast here. Sorry, I'm missing them. Let me go back here. Let's see here. Kevin KD says the NFL Network was baffled when the Chargers were approved for relocation instead of the Raiders. They were predicting failure and thought that San Diego was crucial to the Chargers. I had predicted originally that the Chargers weren't going anywhere. I really believed that they were going to stay in San Diego. Kevin KD says, I remember Lindsay Rhodes saying how her family were Raider fans until when they were in LA. Black Lion says, not only will the Raiders struggle in Vegas, as will the NFL. Steve Macy says, good night all. Hey, good night, Steve. I'll see you. I'm not far, about 3 minutes behind you. Predator Kingdom says, Malcontent, exactly. I agree. There's no evidence at all that there's any Raider fans there. I think most of their tenants will be visiting fans. And here's the thing. The visiting fans may find getting a hotel a better situation because of the declining visitor issue, which is depressing hotel prices. So unless the hotels there get greedy and start gouging them before they come, if that happens, then the problem of people being dissuaded from traveling because of hotel prices will rear its head yet again. All right? Predator Kingdom, Kevin KD says in that when they, Malcontent says no one was clamoring for an NFL team in Las Vegas except Mark Davis. True. In fact, there are polls that I found that basically were not enthusiastic. They weren't favorable. They weren't like super excited, and Las Vegas people have never been super excited about the Raiders. I think it's one of those situations where they'll change their mind when they see the stadium complete. It's like, oh, it's there, and oh my goodness, right? Maybe. If the traffic and everything comes in, that just might make them angrier. We'll have to see. Because that thing is going to bring traffic. No question about it. Whenever it gets to a point where it's finished. Assuming the Raiders can afford to complete building it. Which they would have to do with some type of assistance like a dead increase from the NFL, if that hasn't happened already. I'm trying to find out. Predator Kingdom says CBS market has doubled the amount of viewers in CBS Las Vegas, so ratings are going to be smaller. Well, not ratings, but viewership. Ratings are share of people that watch a certain thing. Viewership is the total number, okay? Ms. Zeitgeist says, I saw a study that ranks NFL teams on how far they're out fans travel for the game. The Raiders were 23rd. Ooh, bad news for Mark, hoping fans will follow him to Vegas. But you know, Ms. Zeitgeist, that might explain why the Raiders put out this idea that they're going after a whole new fan base in Vegas, because it's a flip side. It may be a flip side of admitting that, hey, our fans aren't going to travel, especially at those prices. Quite possible. All right. Kevin Kitty says, why does Mark Davis love Vegas so much anyway? You didn't see that picture? The Bay Area is a place to be, and if I were a billionaire, I would buy a nice house in Walnut Creek, and I never have to leave the area. Just go to Twitter, type Mark Davis Oakland, look at the photos, and I think you're going to see, or type Mark Davis Raiders. Look at the photos, and at some point you will see why. Okay, or Mark Davis Las Vegas. You'll see why. Robert Leslie says, what happened to the Raiders giving Oakland their answer to lease till 2021? That's still in negotiation. Black Lion says, yes, John Marks, Vegas is a PR nightmare for the NFL, mark my words. Ms. Zeitgeist says, exactly. Even LA could not draw Raiders fans from the Bay Area. How much more for Las Vegas? All right. Hey, folks, it is 1:51, and I'm going to sign out and say I will see you all Sunday. Okay? All right. I'm going to say good night. Good night. All. And, oh yeah, as John Mark says, bet you last money it's all going to be a stone gas, honey. But I like watch horror films, keep America strong. Yes. Sunday after Game 2 at Roracle. Yes. Yes. And please, and watch Thinner? Okay. Hey, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Love to have you. All right, good night, everybody. I'll see ya. Go Warriors. See ya. Oh, Carrie, you got it. I'll see ya.